And one more thing to point out. These two also makes certain points or squares to sensitive points in his chart, right here and right here. So this is representing his emotional foundation. Okay. And then this is representing his career, his direction of life he's going in, especially towards fulfillment for his public image. And of course, we look at those, we look at the ruling planets of those, which here we'll stick with the modern day astrology, Pluto, which is actually located in the same area as this, or same house. So Pluto is the ruling planet of this area, of his emotional foundation and family, roots, things of that nature. And then Venus, this is Taurus, because down here is Scorpio. That's why I forgot to mention that Scorpio. So Pluto's in Scorpio here. And then Venus rules Taurus. And where's this Venus at? Oh, interesting. It's right there. Close to the midheaven. At 28 degrees, Aries, 42 minutes. So anything that's affecting these points, he's going to feel it. I'm not going to go too deep in detail with this, but those are like things that I look at. Okay? So I'm going to come back. So we're going to end this. This is a long video. Okay. So those are the things that I do look at in a natal chart, but of course much more. I go much more deeper. I'm not going to go in detail with that because I would definitely lose people. Let's just keep it real. I will lose people for sure. But those are like small things that I would automatically look at, like right off the bat, like bam, I'm gonna hit you with that. Especially like major things that are happening, like the Saturn return. You know, that's major. That's a major transit that you can't avoid. And what I mean by transit is when the planets that are currently in the sky. So for example, like when I say, oh, the new moon, you know, that's a transit. You know, when there's a new moon happening or eclipse, those are transits. Those are considered transits if we put it against your chart. Of course, I can go way deeper with this because I can go on and on and on about this chart. But I don't want to lose people, because then I'll begin to lose people and people are like, okay, he's talking too much about himself. Okay, I get it. But those are how I would read the charts, and that's how someone would read my chart. You know, they will automatically look, okay, where's my sun located? Okay, he's a rising Leo. Okay, cool. The sun is the ruler of his chart. Let's see how well aspected that is. What's happening at the soul level? Okay, cool. You know, let's look at his moon. You know, let's see how he emotionally operates. Oh, he's a moon in Aries, so he's a fiery guy. Oh, you know, all right, you know, he doesn't like to be told what to do. You know, but you know, let's keep that in mind. You know, also, where's his nodal axis located? Oh, okay. Bam, 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 bam. This is what his purpose is. Okay, and this is something he needs to work on going forward and letting go. All right, cool. Oh, shit, you have a Saturn return happening soon. What's going on with work? What's going on with service to others? What's going on, you know, what's going on with that, because it's where Saturn's located. And then so forth, so forth. And then let's, you know, of course, then I could pull up a progress chart, see what's happening, because your soul does eventually go through its changes too. All right, cool. You know, let's see what his progress chart's saying, you know, and then let's see what his solar arcs are saying. okay, let's see what the themes are going on right now with him. Is there any major events that are about to happen to him? Those are things that we look into as astrologers. We look into all those charts. There's many more. I could keep going and going and going and going and figure you out. And it's very telling. It really is. And it's very interesting when I do these readings because it really, when I do these reads, you're tapping into, as an astrologer, you're tapping into their soul. You really are. And that's what we do. We're tapping into your soul. We're tapping into, what we see, what's going on with you. What are your challenges in this lifetime? Are you still going through old cycles right now? We can point that out too. What areas of life are very karmic for you? That's why I point out those retrogrades, because those retrogrades determine that as well in your chart. I can go on and on about, and this is what I love doing. This is something I love doing. This is something I definitely want to do more of going into the future. And I hope and pray, I'm putting this out there in the universe. I always want to put good things out there in the universe, that people will want to get readings from me and I can help them through their energy that they're going through, and be able to guide them in the right direction, because you can go in the wrong direction easily with a lot of these energies. Yeah, so these are like the basics that I point out and how I read a natal chart, and I think it's very important to see that. And yeah, for me, I still, even for myself, I still want to get my chart read, because sometimes there's certain things that I miss because I'm not perfect. And that's the one thing I like to point out too. I'm not perfect at reading a chart. Okay? No one is. Not even the best astrologers out there. They're not perfect. They're well advanced in their readings, especially if they've been doing this for 30 plus years or however long they've been doing it. But there is still going to be small things that will be missed. And that's why, I want to get my chart continuously read, because it's very interesting the points that I miss sometimes too, especially if it makes sense. And you're like, oh shit, I did miss that point. Because reading this chart, there's so much to it I didn't point out. There's so much small things that I didn't point out yet. But because there's so many layers. It's like a cake. If you're going to eat, a 3-layer cake, and it's a fruit cake, but they didn't tell you what kind of fruits is in it, you're going to be, you know what I mean? You're going to be eating whatever, you're going to be like, whoa, I didn't know there was a raspberry up in this bitch. I didn't know, oh shit, I didn't know they're going to have a mango up in this bitch. Wow, that's what I'm saying. It's the same thing, essentially, with astrology. And same thing when it comes to personal training. When I train clients, it's the same thing. There's going to be some things that you're like, oh shit, this definitely does affect them, in a certain way, because this part of the body is not well developed, or it was injured in the past. So I have to accommodate for that. Sometimes I don't know it right away because they don't tell me everything. Okay? So I'm not saying that I'll find out the hard way, but I'll find out in some kind of way where they're like, oh, this is a little sore today, but it's not like a regular soreness. It's actually kind of like, and I'm like, okay, did you, sometimes I have to dig deeper and be like, hey, did you injure in the past? And you're like, oh yeah, I had broke my sacral bone back in the past. Why you didn't tell me that? Because I asked you that when we first traded, if you had previous injuries, and then you tell me, oh, I had, had a little fracture in my sacral bone in the past. I'm like, but the same token, you live and learn. But you're like, okay, we'll adjust. That's what astrology is too, essentially. So yeah, this video is probably gonna be split up into 2 parts. But, and I hope people watch the second part, because this is important, what I'm talking about. But yeah, this is definitely, is definitely a footprint, blueprint, whatever you want to call it, of your life. This is something that you live with. This birth chart is pretty much like your birthmark. Because you can't get rid of your birthmark. I mean, yeah, you can cover it up if you want to, I guess. But that's... why? Why, you know, that's why I ask people, why do you cover your birthmark, you know? But hey, everyone's different. I'm not going to judge. But yeah, no. So, you know, if you're interested in doing any kind of readings through me, I always post my email in my, below in the information of the video. I always post my email there. Yeah, you could DM me on Instagram too, but I'm going to be more responsive to the email because it's more professional in a sense, but I'll be responsive to it in DMs too, as long as you're actually interested in getting a reading. Now, if you're just asking me normal questions, I'm not going to be honest, I'm not going to answer them. You're just going to keep it real. That's what any astrologer, if you try to, unless you're my close friend or sister, or you're already my client or something, obviously I'm going to respond. But if you are just a random stranger asking me like, oh, what does this mean when the moon is in the 10th house? I'm not going to answer that question. Just keep it real. I'm not going to answer that question because that's no. If you want an actual reading, because we don't do this for free, and that's the thing that we all know, this is the truth. This is the truth to anyone's services. You're not going to just get it for free. Okay? So if you're going to be asking me about like why, what does it mean when I have Mars in the 2nd house? I'm not going to answer that question. I'm sorry. Just not. There's going to be no response. That's my response, is no response. Because no response is a response. I'm just not going to respond. Because those questions to me, I have to see your chart. I have to look really deep into your chart. I'm not going to give you a simple answer. It's going to be, let's do a reading. If you want to do a reading, you'll get details on that. Because I will have a write-out of that too as well for you, if you're very interested in that. But if you're not interested in getting a reading, then don't expect that person, the astrologer, or anyone of that service to respond to your question. Just keep it real. Okay? All right. I think I'm going to end this video right here. I'm going to have more content posted eventually too as well. I know this week I didn't start my weekly stuff yet because I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to try to approach that and try to do it differently from everyone else. But I will hopefully start doing that next week if you've been watching my videos. And yeah, that's pretty much it that we have. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed both parts, because this is going to be probably split up into 2 parts most likely. And I hope that if you're interested in getting a reading, you could definitely hit me up through my email. Of course, I'll give you prices. I mean, beginning pricing would be like $100 an hour because I'm new to this. But of course, later in life, I'm hoping and praying that I become well experienced and a bunch of people want readings from me, so then I can raise my prices. But otherwise than that, yeah, hit me up in my email. Please like, subscribe, comment, follow me on IG, whatever. I'm going to make it look more astrology-like soon, so don't worry. I know sometimes people look at my page and are like, oh, it's just him. But it will switch over eventually, so get ready. All right, thank you, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao.